trying to find a way to put this in context. What do we reckon, in terms of acceleration, the fastest car here, 0 to 60 time? 2.5. Anybody got an advance on 2.5? 2.3 aerial atom? Okay, that's pretty good. Bloodhound. Round about 7.5 tons empty weight, put a bit of fuel in the stuff. If you could chain the car, there's no way of holding it on the brakes. If you could chain Bloodhound down, wind the jet engine up to full power, fire the rocket, which involves the Jaguar engine, the pump, getting the hydrogen peroxide, and then fire the rocket, which is another 12 tons of thrust, and then cut the chains, Bloodhound would do 0 to 60 in just over 1 second. I see your aerial atom and smash it. So, in terms of context, now of course we won't actually be operating the car like that. We'll wind the jet up gradually, we'll fire the rocket at about 300, 350 miles an hour. At that point, the car will start accelerating at 2G, 40 miles an hour per second. So 350 miles an hour, it's still doing 0 to 60 increments in 1.5 seconds, or 2 seconds. It's still going stupidly fast. Get up to 600-700 miles an hour, the drags start to build up. We're still putting on 60 miles an hour per second, per 2 or 3 seconds, and it's still going up. It's still almost doing 0 to 60 in 3 second equivalent, approaching 1,000 miles an hour. The measured mile itself will take 3.5 seconds. When I chop the throttle, I've been doing a lot of high level acceleration at that stage. So up to 2G. Feet out in front of me in a semi-reclined position, so all the blood is rushing towards my head. The body does actually adapt to something called the baroreceptor reflex. The pressure sensors in your neck then drop your heart rate, to take all the pressure of the blood rushing towards your head, which is really uncomfortable. Get to the end of the measured mile, chop the throttles, the 16, 17 tons of drag on the car now starts its slowing down at 3G, 60 miles an hour per second. All of those driving home this evening, do not try this on the way home. But imagine driving at 60 miles an hour, coming to a complete stop in 1 second. 3G, 60 miles an hour in 1 second. It's a violent experience, especially if you've just been accelerating at 2G and your body has physiologically adapted with this baroreceptor reflex. That's the bit where I have to tense up, just like fighter pilots do, just like I do when I'm flying an aeroplane, to actually resist the flow of the blood all now trying to rush to my feet, with the tendency to black out. Sunday Times is about to run an article on Bloodhound, the technology, the performance, etc. And I took the Sunday Times journalist, Andrew Smith, flying a couple of weeks ago. I gave him the brief on all this, gave him a very detailed brief on what we're going to do, a bit of negative G, a bit of positive G, simulating the exact G profile of being in Bloodhound. We got exactly halfway through it, plus 2 seconds. I got to the bit where I said, we're simulating approaching the end of the measured mile, 1,000 miles. I'm now going to reverse the, simulate closing the throttles, reverse the pull, straight to 3G, and his head just went straight down. He remembers nothing after end of the measured mile until we were upright again. He was, how did we get here?